In this video, we're going to complete the MLA Practice Activity. First, I want to show you that Word comes with certain defaults. For instance, our default font is Calibri, size 11. In addition, Word defaults to put extra space between each line of text, and you can see that here on the Home tab and Paragraph group. If you click the line and paragraph spacing button, you can see that there's 1.15 spaces between each line. It also inserts an extra 10 points of space after each paragraph, and Word reads a paragraph as each time the user presses enter. We can look at that on the Page Layout tab. And here in the paragraph group, we can see that the spacing after each paragraph is 10 points. We need to get rid of those extra spaces. So what we can do is press Ctrl A and go to the Home tab and look at the Styles group and choose the No Spacing button. You can see the extra space went away, both between the lines and after the paragraphs. Now we need to change the font to Times New Roman 12 point. So Home tab, Font group, and click the drop-down arrow. And you can just start typing Times, and Word will highlight that font. Click on it and change the size to 12. Now we're going to double space the entire document. You should still have your text selected. If you happen to have clicked out of your selection, that's fine. Just press Ctrl A again and stay on the Home tab. Look at the paragraph group, and again we're going to look at that line and paragraph spacing button and choose 2.0 for double spacing. Now we need to change the margins to 1 inch on all sides. To do that, we're going to go to the Page Layout tab, Page Setup group, and Margins button. We're going to choose the first option, Normal, and you can see that gives us 1 inch margins on the top, bottom, left, and right. Now we're going to type a heading at the beginning of our paper. So let's click right before A, that first word in our paper, and press Enter to give us a line of space to work with. And we're going to use our arrow key to get up in that blank line. We need to type our name, our professor's name, the course name, and the date. And the date is going to be in international format. So the day will come first, and then we'll have a space, the 3-digit abbreviation for the month, and a space, and then the year. So we'll first have the day, a space, 3-digit abbreviation for the month, followed by a period, a space, and the year. Now we're going to add a title. So we'll press Enter, and the title is going to be Computer Viruses. When you're done typing, select the text and go to the Home tab and choose Center. That's in the paragraph group, and here's the Center button. Centering is the only way in which a title is set apart in MLA format. That is, there is no capitalization for all of the words, no bolding, no italicizing, no extra space before or after. The font is not larger. The only thing to set apart a title in MLA is centering. And we just use title capitalization. So important words are capitalized and articles such as of or the or are not. Now we need the first line of each paragraph to be indented. Normally, if you were composing a paper, you would just press Tab at the beginning of the paragraph to indent the line half an inch, but we're using a block of text that's already been written to save time. So there are a couple of ways you could do this. You could turn on Show Hide Characters on the Home tab, Paragraph Group, and here's where we can see Show Hide Characters so that we can see each time a new paragraph begins. It's denoted by this symbol. Remember, I said Word reads a new paragraph as each time a person presses enter. Okay, so we have all of these paragraph symbols, and we can just find where they are and then press Tab. Alternatively, we could select the entire body of the report, being careful to not select Works Cited, and then we could stay on the Home tab and click the Paragraph dialog box launcher button, and under indentation we could look at Special and choose First Line and click OK. I'm going to now turn off Show Hide Characters. And let's save our document. Get into the habit of saving your work often. Now we're going to insert a header that's going to print at the top right of our pages. It's going to include a last name, then a space, and then the page number. So there's an easy way to go about this. Let's go to the Insert tab and look in the Header and Footer group and click on the Page Number button. We're going to choose Top of Page, and we're going to choose plain number 3. We can see that this will put the page number on the right of our paper, which is exactly where we want it. The page number appears in gray, as you can see, and what that means is this is really a code telling Word to put the correct page number on each subsequent page. So we've got 1 here and 2 down on the second page. If we were to simply just type the number 1 in the header, what do you think would happen? Well, we would get 1 on every page, including the first page and the second page, third page, and so on. That's not what we want. We've got to put in the page number code in the manner that I just showed you. Now our insertion point is blinking right before 1. That's exactly where we want it, so we'll put our last name, and be sure to remember to put a space in between your last name and the page number. And now we're all done with that portion. Excuse me, I misspoke. We're not done. We need to select all of the text for our header, DOE, and the page number, and go over to the Home tab, and be sure that the font is Times New Roman 12 point. Okay. And now let's save our document again. And we're going to double click in the body of the report to get out of the header. If you wanted to, for some reason, get into the header again, you can double click in the header area to edit there. We're going to put our insertion point at the beginning of the document, and now we're going to have a footnote. We need a footnote for the first instance of shareware. We're going to explain what that is. So let's press Control F, and this brings up our navigation menu, and we can type shareware. And Word highlights each instance. We're going to select the first one here, and our footnote is going to come immediately after the word shareware. So click right at the end of the first instance of shareware, and we're going to go to the References tab, look in the Footnotes group, and be sure to click Insert Footnote, not Insert Endnote. Insert Footnote. Okay, now we can start typing the text of the footnote, and that's going to be copyrighted software that may be tried without expense. And I'll put an ellipses because there is more to that sentence, but we'll just leave it for there right now. And when you're finished typing the text, select everything in the footnote, and we need to change it to Times New Roman. It already is, and we need to make it 12 point. Now let's scroll down to the Works Cited page. The Works Cited page must appear on a page by itself after the body of the document. To make sure that the Works Cited page is on a page by itself, we need to put our insertion point at the end of our document and then press Control and Enter. Okay, this is what's called a hard page break or a manual page break. If we turn on Show Hide Characters here in the paragraph group, we can see, if we scroll up, that a manual page break has been inserted. I'm going to undo my manual page break. Perhaps you've done this before. Perhaps you've just used Enter until the Works Cited page shows up on its own page. I don't want you to do that, because if you were to make a change such as adding or deleting a paragraph, look what happens to your Works Cited page. It moves up or down, okay, depending on whether you added or deleted text in the body. So let's undo that, and I'm going to undo all of my enters, and I'm going to click Control Enter, and I'm going to get rid of this extra space by putting my insertion point before Works Cited, and I'm just going to press backspace. Now the Works Cited title here, which is simply Works Cited, needs to be centered. It's always going to be Works Cited as the title, and we need to put our Works Cited entries in hanging indentation. So we need to select all of our entries and go to the Home tab and Paragraph Group, click the Paragraph Dialog Box Launcher button, and under indentation we're going to look at Special, and we're going to choose Hanging, not first line like we did before.